when you were 16-year-old, you know, of course, for our modern age, we couldn't accept it. But in the past, 16-year-old boy could get married. So he got married with the princess Yasodhana, and later on, this princess became known too in the Buddhist Sangha. And yeah, he got married with her, of course, with some kind of contest. Without, I mean, he got his wife not for free. He need to do the contest, but he won't. Okay. Now, here, the pleasure palace of 3 types of palace for the rainy season, for the summer season, and for the winter season, so that the prince could enjoy to forget about getting out of the war. Okay, but the king could not keep the prince in the palace all the time. So one day, the prince, yeah, of course, he was so curious that he wanted to see something, what happened in the outside there. Because the king just locked him inside the palace. Imagine that, yes, we can stay in the room to enjoy our video games, to enjoy our books, to enjoy our computer and so on. But what happened if we were locked in? We could not have the access for the outside world. That's, of course, that means we may live as a prisoner, right? No one wants to do that. The reason why you see that many birds, even if we put them in the cage, right? They want to fly, want to have some kind of freedom. They don't want to live in that kind of cage. So do people. So we want to have some kind of freedom. So the prince, even he enjoyed this kind of palaces, but somehow he felt that he wanted to see something because of his courage. So one day he asked his servant to go out with him, and he saw what you call the 4 signs, the 4 important signs that the prince saw. The first one is the old age. He saw the old person. The second sign, he saw the illness person. And the third, he saw a dead person. And the last one, he saw a monk. You know, study Buddhism, especially study the history of the Buddha. This kind of process is so important. Imagine that you live in a pure luxury place, right? And you may not know what's happening outside there. But when you just step out of the gates and you recognize, oh, there's something that I never seen before. So it's so striking for you, right? The first sign is the old age. The second sign is the illness person. And the third sign is the dead person. And the last one is the monk. Now, this kind of signs somehow still linger in his mind. Why? Because later on he asked his servant that, would I be old like them? Would I have illness like them? Would I be die like them? Have you ever asked these kind of questions? Right? This is the nature of life, physically, right? No one can escape that. Regardless of the tradition we follow, this is what we call the convention truth. No one can escape from that. We were born. Since we were born up to now, we have some form of illness. Whether it's serious or not, we still have some kind of illness, especially when we have the rain, right? When we have the snow, right? No one can escape from that. And when we get older, we have the white hair, right? The reason why actually this is not funny, but that's the truth. I went to many churches and mentioned one thing, okay, regardless of the tradition we follow, but the one thing that we have the same is the white hair when we get older, right? So anyway, so this kind of sight was so striking that made him to think about the life. even he could enjoy his life in the palace, but yes, of course, he would have some kind of illness, and later on he would be older. No one could live forever, and later on he would be dying. So striking that made him to think about life, and especially the last side, the side of the monk. The monk here somehow, if you visit India, you see that somehow that is the religious countries. So many kinds of traditions that people practicing even nowadays. Let me go back to the Hindu Brahmin philosophy of life. So the first part of the life, yes, a person, let's say a man, because of course in the past they value men than women. But so somehow the first part of life of a man is to get married. And after he has wife and children, he needs to accumulate the wealth. And when he getting older, he would forsake that life to become a mendicant. We know what's been mendicant? Mendicant does mean they don't carry anything. They can live. They can carry the bowl so that they can beg for food. What they call mendicant. But somehow in the past, the Indian people, they were so respectful with this kind of traditions. The reason why the Buddha followed this tradition later on. When you see why the Buddhist monk carry the bowl around, right? Of course, we don't do it here in this country. We could not go door by door and beg for food. It look ugly for people, but it's the old tradition. It starts from the Indian tradition. And so when he saw this monk, you see he carried a bowl, right? Even at our monastery, we use the bowl to eat every day too. But we don't go out. In the Theravada tradition, they still keep up with this kind of tradition. Theravada tradition, of course, you know about the Theravada traditions? You may not know, right? Let me go further a little bit. Buddhism nowadays has two main traditions. One is called Theravada, or the elder tradition, or the conservative tradition, or the sounding tradition. You got that? The first one. And the second one is what is called Mahayana traditions. Mahayana means the great traditions or the northern traditions. We follow the northern tradition or Mahayana traditions. But for the for Theravada traditions, they still follow the old practice that Buddha had done in the past. That if you visit Thailand, Burma, Sri Lanka, and so on, those are the countries that still follow what they call Theravada tradition. Let me have you. Let me this example. Let me see. Okay, that's one. Maha has been great. Ra has been old. Oh, okay. So that's one. Yeah. Okay. So when he saw